clinic.
No health professional should be seen on duty without being duly identified, wearing your name tag to identify you.
As Muslims around the world observe the holy month of Ramadan, a cleric is urging Muslims to strictly adhere to its spiritual dictates to reap full benefits. In business tonight, Energy Ministry dismisses concerns raised by the minority over the timing of the extensions of petroleum agreements, arguing the move ensures long-term certainty in Ghana's upstream petroleum sector.
Within the upstream space in terms of the investment drive. What the extension means is that it brings a lot of certainty within the upstream space in terms of the investment drive. What the extension means is that it brings a lot of certainty within the upstream space in terms of the investment drive. What the extension means is that it brings a lot of certainty within the upstream space in terms of the investment drive. What the extension means is that.
Also tonight, we take you live to the Plus 233 Jazz Bar and Grill to update you on happenings as Star FM celebrates the Fugu Night Out. More on that. And on the international front, U.S. President Donald Trump to speak after Supreme Court struck down his global retaliatory. The details of these and much more news here on News Tonight. Tuesday. Let's get started with news tonight. This evening, you can watch this bulletin live all across the world on Facebook and on X at GHOne TV. The Ministry of Education has warned that individuals who assaulted teachers in line of duty will face severe legal consequences. In a statement dated February 19 and signed by Deputy Minister for Education and Member of Parliament Clement Abbas Apak, the ministry expressed concern over recent incidents of violence against teachers in some schools across the country. The ministry stressed that any student or individual who attacks a teacher performing lawful professional duties will be dealt with in accordance with the laws of Ghana. It cited a recent case at Kade Senior High Technical School where perpetrators who assaulted a tutor were arrested, arraigned before the Kade District Court and convicted after pleading guilty to conspiracy and assault. They were subsequently fined. The ministry also condemned incidents recorded during the Superzonal Sports Competition in the Eastern region, which involved a reported stabbing and an alleged sexual assault. According to the statement, suspects have been arrested and are assisting police investigations, while victims are receiving medical and psychosocial support. At West Africa Senior High School, 2 students and an accomplice have been arraigned before the Adenta Circuit Court in connection with the assault of a teacher and remanded into police custody for 6 weeks pending further proceedings. Now we're seeking to reach the Deputy Education Minister, Clement Apak, for details on this, and we're working the lines to reach him. And as soon as we do so, we will bring you more on that development. Let's turn to issues of health this evening. Minister of Health, Kwabena Mintah Akanjo, has ordered strict ID enforcement across all health facilities nationwide following the baby abduction at Mamprobi Polyclinic. The minister, in his engagement with management of the polyclinic, demanded answers on how the suspect was able to gain access to the postnatal ward. He further directed the immediate installation of CCTV cameras, the creation of security service points, and mandatory liaison with the nearest police posts to tighten safety in facilities across the country.
We have issued clear instructions and clear directives that no health professional should be seen on duty without being duly identified, wearing your name tag to identify you. It's a sin at this point in time. So those who are not enforcing that particular directive, if anything happens, we will deal with you. That is number one. Number two, we have also instructed, not today, that every health facility must have a working CCTV camera. Every health facility in this country. So you cannot come and tell us that you don't have, because you have been told. It's been clearly written and circulated to all health facilities long ago. So they must have that. We have also indicated that there must be clear service points, must see telephone numbers clearly displayed at various strategic positions, suggestion boxes being displayed at various strategic positions to collate and collect complaints to work on. That has also been issued.
So live here on News Tonight on GHOne TV. Let's turn to our earlier story regarding the Ministry of Education, which has warned that individuals who assault teachers in line of duty will face severe legal consequences. Joining me via phone now is the Deputy Minister for Education, Dr. Clement Apak, on this issue. Good evening to you, and thank you for joining us here on News Tonight. Now, this is a very concerning development. Many are worried, quite frankly, about the concrete steps that the ministry is taking or has been taking to ensure justice for the affected teachers. Can you run us through what these are?
Yes, let me say good evening to you and good evening to our viewers. And to indicate that we should all be worried about this rampant and rather common situation where we are recording assault on teachers. It simply is not acceptable. And I think that, His Excellency the President, when he attended the 54th annual Delegates Conference of NAT, made it very clear that we ought to be a lot more active in holding students and others who have developed the unfortunate appetite towards assaulting teachers accountable. And so since then, the ministry through the Ghana Education Service, working with law enforcement, we have made it part of our modus operandi to ensure that wherever we hear that a teacher has been assaulted, we follow up to make sure that the perpetrators of this crime are not only arrested, but that they are prosecuted and the needed sanctions meted out to them. We thought it was necessary to issue yet another statement to warn students and also to warn parents that this would no longer be tolerated, and to give examples of instances where through our advocacy, our encouragement and our effort, students have been held duly accountable or are being taken through the processes of accountability. I think the most recent occurrence was at WAS in the Adenta metropolis, where some students mobilized a few of their colleagues and came back to attack teachers because the teachers had expelled them from a classroom where they were found with some female students. And they then decided that the only way to seek redress for the teachers doing the needful was for them to go and mobilize people to come and assault the teachers. 2 of them have been apprehended, including an accomplice, and are currently standing trial in Adenta.
Now, I mean, with that being said, you mentioned the measures that will be taken against the students who do this. What's the level of engagement, though, with school authorities? I mean, beyond the teachers themselves, how is the ministry working with them to ensure that such incidents don't recur?
Well, what we have done is the teachers, the managers of the schools. Remember that it was the situation where of schools, teachers had become essentially powerless to face such acts of provocation. Now the teachers and the managers of the school, they have the Ghana Education Service, they have the backing of the ministry, and they have the backing of His Excellency to both report situations that are beyond their control, and in situations where they have control over the ensuing matter, they ought to act, and they will have the full protection of the ministry and the Ghana Education Service. It is also for this reason that we reinstated the PTAs, because we've always believed that parents have a role to play in assisting the managers of our schools to ensure that we have a serene and an unacceptable teaching and learning environment. So what we have is to let it be known that this will not be tolerated, to let the managers of the schools and the teachers know that they have our full support. And as far as acting within the context of their professional responsibilities, discharging their duties as teachers and managers, no student, no outsider would assault a teacher and walk away free. So these are some of the things that we are doing. And in some of the students, if and when they are found guilty, they could lose the opportunity to continue. Okay. Because if you are thrown in jail and you are sentenced, that essentially means that your education is truncated and you would have yourself to blame.
Right. Well, we'll have to wrap it up here. Thank you for your time this evening. Deputy Minister for Education, Dr. Clement Apak, joining us on that rather concerning developments. You're still live here on News Tonight on GH1 TV. In other top stories, a 33-year-old trader, Latifa Salifu, has been remanded into police custody by the Circuit Court in Accra over the alleged theft of a baby from Mamprobi Hospital. Salifu was arraigned on a provisional charge of stealing, but her plea was not taken as investigations are still ongoing. The prosecution, led by Chief Inspector Opoku Anyeje, told the court that the offence may involve a syndicate and requested that the accused be remanded to allow police to complete investigations. Defense counsel Hamisu Mohammed applied for bail, arguing that his client is not a flight risk and has two young children. He assured the court that she would not interfere with investigations and that sureties were ready to support her bail. However, the prosecution opposed the bail application, insisting that the matter is serious and requires further investigation. Presiding Judge His Honor K.K. Obri-Yeboah ruled that the accused be remanded into police custody until March 4, 2026. According to police, the baby was taken in the early hours of February 17 after the accused allegedly posed as a nurse and left the hospital with the child. She was later arrested at Kolebu Teaching Hospital following a tip-off. The baby has since been rescued and investigations are ongoing. Let's stay on this. Our legal affairs correspondent Murtala Inusa joins now via phone with more details. Murtala, what further information can you provide as per what transpired in court?
So, Natalie, this is to satisfy the 48-hour rule that when somebody is arrested within 48 hours, you ought to arraign the person for the court to determine whether the person should be granted bail or not. And that was exactly what the police did today following her arrest and the day before yesterday. And so she was arraigned. The plea was not taken because investigations are still ongoing. The prosecutors make the point that at this particular point in time, they want her remanded, especially so also because of the circumstances relating to this matter. Somebody who already has children and went into a hospital and make that particular action. They believe that it should be a syndicate, or they are suggesting a syndicate sort of. So they will actually need her to be able to assist them unravel or investigate every bit of information that they have. Her lawyer jumped in, made a point that we look at Article 19 specifically with relation to a presumption of innocence, where Article 19 spoke about. They believe that the accused person ought to be granted bail, has persons of sufficient means to stand as sureties for her, and doesn't have the means to interfere with police investigations and, of course, witnesses that the state may intend to rely on. And so, on the basis of that, the court should admit the accused person to bail. In his honor, Mr. Governor Obri-Yeboah was of the view that at this particular point in time, it is too early for the court to admit the accused person to bail, especially so because investigations are ongoing. So on the basis of that, she be remanded into police custody until March 4, when she reappears before the court. And that day, the police would then have to inform the court whether they have concluded investigations or not, and whether the provisional charge of stealing is exactly the only charge that they will press against her. Right. So basically, that is in a nutshell what transpired in the court today.
Very well. Now, Murtala, certainly investigations are still ongoing. And you mentioned it's rather peculiar, given that she is already a mother of two young children. What just generally did you observe about the mood of the accused person and the conduct? Very briefly, if you can share that.
Clearly, Natalie, anybody who finds himself or herself in the grips of the law do not expect the person to show that side of character where you are happy or where you are comfortable. Definitely your demeanor will change. And so that is the mood in which she appeared in court. She looks very, very calm, very sober in all of that, as somebody who has really walked into trouble. And so it is all part of the issues. And of course, the law is such a way that you wouldn't see it working until you have issues with the law. And that clearly was the state in which she appeared in court.
Murtala Inusa, thank you very much for the updates there on that issue. That's our legal affairs correspondent joining us on that. Let's turn to some other news this evening. A retired military officer, Joseph Abusa, and pastor Benjamin Kofi Agbetefa have been convicted of manslaughter by the High Court in Accra. The conviction stems from a 2018 incident where the two men chased and beat a taxi driver, Solomon Dapa, over a suspected fake 50 cedi note, leading to his death.
The incident occurred on March 1, 2018, when Dapa, 32, stopped at a provision shop owned by Agbetiafa's mother in New Ablaje, a suburb of Agbogba. Dapa bought a 7-liter bottle of Fanta and paid with a 50 cedi note, receiving 40 cedi in change. Agbetiafa's mother suspected the note was fake and alerted Abusa, who was visiting at the time. They chased Dapa's taxi in the pickup truck, blocked his path, and beat him when he tried to escape, tying him up and taking him to the Agbogba police station. Dapa was pronounced dead on arrival at the Agbogba clinic. A post-mortem examination revealed the cause of death as severe head injury and leaching, an unnatural manner of death. The jury returned a 5-2 verdict for conspiracy and a unanimous guilty verdict for manslaughter. Justice Lydia Osei-Marvo, a justice of the Court of Appeal who was sitting as an additional High Court judge, sentenced Abusa and Agbetiafa to 6 months each on both counts to run concurrently. The first convict, Joseph Abusa, a retired soldier, welcomed the 6-month custodial sentence and explained his side of the story.
So this thing, to charge me manslaughter or murder, it was a surprise to me, because when the thing happened and this man passed on, it was a surprise to me. It's a spiritual working.
You didn't take part.
No.
What was your role? What role did you play?
I heard the person I put inside my pickup, sent to police station, so that the law will take its course. Before, unfortunately, that death came.
They were linked.
Yes, because nobody, if somebody was saying that that guy will pass on, I will not believe it. He's a try guy.
The second convict, Benjamin Kofi Agbeteafa, a pastor, broke down in tears after his conviction and sentence. He explained why he broke down in tears.
I was coming for victory.
I want the teachings.
That I knew that today I come for victory. I'll go back home. I am in 4 days. 4 days of prayer. Second the first of God. Today is the last day.
You broke down in tears. What was the reason?
It was that the way I'm leaving my wife. Just got married. 3rd January 2026.
You got married January 3rd?
January 3rd. This is the ring. I didn't tell my wife that we are coming to court.
You didn't tell your wife you were coming to court. What did you tell her you were going? Where did you tell her you were going?
I knew I'm coming to court and go back home.
Before you come after, come home.
You were speaking to somebody a while ago.
Who was my younger brother?
So as you see, your wife doesn't know.
No, up to now, he doesn't know that.
How do you intend to communicate to her?
They will go and communicate with her before when we go to Apokobi or wherever.
Hey, you invite her there.
Then I'm sure they'll come there.
Okay.
In other news this evening, the NDC government has ruled out plans to increase the number of ministers, with Majority Leader Mahama Ayariga asserting that the current team is fully capable of handling the responsibilities of governance. Speaking on the floor of the Parliament, the Boko Central legislator said recent calls by the minority for an expanded ministerial list are, quote, intended to make the government violate its pre-election promise to maintain a lean cabinet, unquote. He stressed that the existing ministers have the expertise and capacity to execute government policies effectively, and that the administration remains committed to ensuring efficiency and accountability without creating additional positions.
We will not increase the number of ministers. If you think by inundating ministers with questions, they will be forced to increase the number of ministers so that we will fail on our political promise. We will not do that. We will not increase the number of ministers. And at the same time, those ministers must also perform their job, just as he has indicated. You have left us huge debts. The Minister of Finance had to pay as a deadline the day before yesterday, 10 billion Ghana cedis. 10 billion Ghana cedis. How is he going to pay if all the time you come here and ask him questions that he thinks that do not help him to raise 10 billion Ghana cedis? So, Mr. Speaker, the ministers have to carry out their core responsibility of administering this country. And at the same time, they will come to this parliament and answer questions. And the ministers have been coming. Don't create the impression that they don't come. As we speak, the questions that we have scheduled for today, the minister was here. I mean, he sent his deputy to come and answer the questions. Sometimes the ministers come to answer questions, and then we spend the whole time engaging in politics and consuming their time. Speaker, I'm saying that we will not increase the number of ministers, and the available ministers will come and answer the questions as and when time permits.
Now, the Ministry of Energy and Green Transitions has attributed the persistent power outages in Nalerigu and Gambaga to insecurity and high volatility in the area. As the government rolls out measures to address the situation over the past several months, residents of Nalerigu and Gambaga have been severely affected by erratic power supply, disrupting businesses and daily life. According to the ministry, the instability in the area has contributed significantly to the inadequate electricity supply. Speaking on the floor of Parliament, Deputy Minister for Energy and Green Transitions, Richard Jan Mensah, stated that the Northern Electricity Distribution Company, NEDCO, is fully aware of the challenges and has put plans in place to resolve them.
NEDCO, that is a distribution company in charge of the northern area, is aware of the supply challenge in the Nalerigu-Gambaga constituency. The current instability is primarily due to the security situation within the area, and communities along also have obsolete equipment at the Boko primary substation. Due to high security risk, maintenance teams have been unable to perform routine maintenance at the substation or along the line routes, and operational staff in the zone have been relocated for their safety. To address this persistent outage, the following specific measures are being implemented. There's a specialized line maintenance, that is, NEDCO has scheduled special maintenance, including vegetation control, insulation replacement, and the assistance of security force to reduce transient faults. There is also a new line construction. With the support of the Ministry of Energy and Green Transition, a 34.5 kV line is being constructed to connect Gambaga to Walwale network to improve the power situation in the Gambaga-Nalerigu corridor. Construction work on this new line is currently estimated at 80%. There's also a great reinforcement. NEDCO is planning to replace obsolete equipment at the Boko substation as soon as the security situation allows for safe technical intervention.
So live here on News Tonight. Now, government has launched an automated fire compliance and safety system to ensure timely, safe and effective firefighting across the country. The fully digitalized application will allow fire officers to monitor and respond to fire emergencies promptly to save lives and property. There's more in this report.
Abina in Kumasi wakes up to smoke. Not because she ignored safety, not because she didn't care, but because somewhere in her building, an expired extinguisher hung on a wall like decoration.
The automated fire compliance and safety system, an innovative online platform, is designed to simplify fire safety checks for households, businesses, and public buildings, making it easier for compliance with fire safety requirements. The system replaces traditional paper-based processes with a user-friendly digital system, enabling efficient scheduling of inspections, improved communication with Ghana National Fire Service, and real-time monitoring of safety compliance. Delivering a speech at the official launch, the Minister for the Interior, Muntaka Mubarak, underscored that the initiative will eliminate avoidable loss of lives and property, contributing to economic development.
Fire safety is not a luxury. It is a national necessity. It underpins the safety of our citizens, the protection of lives and property, investors' confidence, and the sustainability of our national development agenda. As our cities expand, industries grow, and infrastructure investment increase, the demand for an efficient, transparent, and preventive fire safety compliance system has never been more urgent.
Chief Fire Officer Daniela Mausi Sapon highlighted that the innovation will augment efficiency through capacity building and also remove bottlenecks that impede fire response operations.
A fire service that is embracing technology, innovation, and partnership to deliver faster, transparent, standardized, and accountable fire safety compliance systems. Through this digital platform, interactions with the public will be simplified, inspections better coordinated, compliance tracked in real time, and risk identified earlier than before.
The automated fire compliance and safety system will serve as the primary interface for public interaction with the Ghana National Fire Service, making fire safety compliance faster, more transparent, and easier to track. The system is expected to reduce unfair practices, ensure uniform application of fire safety rules, and boost public trust and confidence in fire safety regulation.
We'll bring you some more news here on News Tonight on GH1 TV shortly. Do stay. Welcome back to News Tonight here on GHOne TV with me, Natalie Fort. Across Ghana, a renewed call is being made to close the gender gap in science, technology, engineering and mathematics at a national celebration of the International Day of Women and Girls in Science. The Deputy Director General of the Ghana Education Service, Professor Smile GC, challenged the nation and the notion to move from vision to impact and place girls at the center of Ghana's scientific future.
STEM education sits at the heart of Ghana's development agenda. From healthcare and agriculture to infrastructure, technology and climate resilience, science and innovation continue to shape the nation's future. But for decades, the full potential of STEM has remained untapped as gender gaps continue to limit participation and progress. It was against this backdrop that the International Day of Women and Girls in Science was marked, and the message was unmistakable. Speaking to students, educators, policymakers and STEM stakeholders, the Deputy Director General of the Ghana Education Service, Professor Smile Gigi's message echoed this year's theme, Girls in Tech, From Vision to Impact. A call for Ghana to move beyond promise and begin breaking barriers that shut girls out of science.
Girls in technology, from vision to impact. We define STEM by closing the gender gap. It's a clarion call. It's a mandate to move beyond aspiration and to creation. We are tired of the lip services. We are tired of talking about send a girl child to school, encourage the girls to be in STEM, but we want to see the action and the impact.
Professor Gisi said STEM is the language of the future. To exclude girls, she warned, is to silence half of the nation's genius.
Let us commit to making every classroom, every lab and every club an inclusive sanctuary for innovation, where girls can experiment, fail, learn, and triumph without fear.
The event pointed to Ghana's growing wave of women leading in space science, biotechnology, tech startups, data-driven policy and civil engineering.
Where the world is moving, Ghana cannot lag behind STEM education because the word is STEM, and STEM education is the future. With this and the exposure that we are gaining, especially to the younger ones, I know in the near future, about 90% of us will opt for science and its related programs.
Other speakers urged girls to remain curious, fearless and unapologetic in their ambitions.
Education unit is something that we don't take for granted at all. I can recall that the science education unit has held us on their wings throughout our existence, and on a day like this we cannot take ourselves out of the celebration.
Various partner groups and organizations took turns to encourage boys and young men to become allies, stressing that their real progress is built through collaboration, not competition.
441 times 13. So we have 5, we have 3, and we have a 7. What is the missing number? 3. Very good.
Next on News Tonight, we bring you the latest from the world of business.
The Business Brief is brought to you by CompuGhana, passion for technology.
Business Tonight's technical advisor to the Ministry of Energy and Green Transition, Dr. Yusuf Suleimana, says Parliament's ratification of the extended petroleum agreements for the West Cape 3 Points and Deepwater Tano blocks will unlock major investments and strengthen Ghana's energy security. The agreements originally set to expire in 2034 for WCTP and in 2036 for DWT have now been extended to December 31, 2040. Addressing concerns raised by the minority about the early extensions, Dr. Suleimana argued that the move provides long-term certainty for Ghana's upstream petroleum sector.
So I think this extension is hugely significant to our entire energy industry. vis-a-vis our energy, our long-term energy security. Why am I saying that? If you look at the upstream, in most jurisdictions, which is not different from ours, the upstream remains the heartbeat of every energy unit in terms of dependency on energy supply. What the extension means is that it brings a lot of certainty within the upstream space in terms of the investment drive. This kind of extension will give a lot of momentum and credibility to whatever lending procedure that they want to undertake to unlock this 2 billion investment within the upstream. So I think the extension is timely, and I want to hugely commend the sector minister for championing this wholeheartedly and putting all the shoulders to the wheel to get this passed ultimately.
Next on the bulletin, we bring you sports news.
The Business Brief was brought to you by CompuGhana, passion for technology.
In sports this evening, head coach has named a 26-player squad for the upcoming Pink Ladies Cup. Ghana, as the Ghana women's national football team intensifies preparations for the Women's Africa Cup of Nations. The squad blends experienced players such as Chantel Boy Hloka, Jennifer Kujo, Portia Boache, and Grace Asantewa, with emerging talents including Alexandra Tay, Dinah Amwako, and Helen Alomenu. The Pink Ladies Cup is expected to provide valuable international exposure and help the technical team assess player readiness, strengthen team cohesion, and fine-tune tactics ahead of the continental tournament. The squad also has 6 fresh legs who earned their debut call cups. That's it for sports segments. This evening, we bring you entertainment news next. Tonight on GHOne, Star FM is hosting a special Fugu night as part of its efforts to project indigenous Northern Ghanaian attire to the global stage. The event at the +233 Jazz Bar and Grill is aimed at celebrating and promoting Fugu, the traditional woven fabric widely associated with Northern Ghana. This initiative aligns call to preserve and showcase Ghana's cultural heritage, particularly traditional attire, as a symbol of identity and pride. And it's expected to bring together fashion enthusiasts, cultural advocates, creatives, and members of the public for an evening of music, style, and cultural appreciation. The event highlights the beauty, craftsmanship, and global potential of Northern Ghana's traditional wear. Well, let's now head over and take you to +233 Jazz Bar and Grill to see the thrill of the night this evening.
I'd like to collaborate with Star FM to make it even bigger than it should be. Yeah.
Now, what should patrons expect for tonight?
Oh, I mean, good vibes. There's live music. There's chilled drinks. There's
a lady here, and she's a patron. So, good evening. You're live on GHOne Television. Tell us your name.
Thank you. My name is Elliot. I'm the floor manager at Plus 233.
Atmosphere here is charged. Patrons are so trooping in, and we are expecting to have a very exciting and entertaining night. Over to you.
Hey, out there, joining us from Plus 233 Jazz Bar and Grill, and the night is heating up for this innovative initiative by Star FM, a subsidiary of the EIB network, Fugu Night Out. One of many more to come, even ahead of the month of March, as we celebrate our Ghanaian culture even more. We thank you for watching News Tonight this evening here on GH1 TV. It was produced by Emmanuel Ejabing, as well as Stella Butchway and Natalie Fort. Have a wonderful and restful evening.